Hola patrons, I want to do some quick movement tips as we go. I'm going to do some quick ones and I'm going to do some not so quick ones. Sweating my what's off here in Nicaragua, doing some work on a bathroom project. I'm going to be building a small little outhouse basically, and wanted to go over the hip hinge. Basic movement pattern. To hinge at the hips, a hinge is in a lot of different movements, but the hinge we're going to be working on is kind of a deadlift pattern because I'm going to pick up 2 5-gallon buckets. So throughout the day we could use this in any way. You could just pick up a pencil or get out of a car and kind of hinge over, right? The idea is that I keep my spine nice and long, tall, organized, as Kelly Starrett famously says. To pick up 2 5-gallon buckets, I'm going to keep this video kind of quick. I'm going to kick the sides of it, meaning I'm going to get as close to the buckets as I can, or have the load as close to my body. I want heavy load to be near my center of gravity, underneath me as much as possible. So from here, I'm going to hinge at the hips, which is going to drive my hips rearward. If there were a door that needed to be closed and I had my arms full of something, I could kind of kick it with my butt a little bit, right? So that's the pattern. So it's a little different than a squat. So this would be a hinge pattern, my torso is folded. This would be a squat pattern where my torso is not as folded. Okay, they're similar but different. So I'm here. Another beautiful thing about the hip hinge, I drive my hips back. See that little karate chop I do here to make sure that I'm actually hinging here. And what I see a lot of guys my age doing is hinging actually up here and rounding their spine and actually hinging from their mid-spine, which makes the fulcrum their mid-spine, which that is not designed to be. Hinge at the hips, drive the weight into the heels, right? Create some torque with my shoulders, externally rotate my shoulder. So I'm going to rotate my elbow pits forward. Now I'm just holding on to the buckets. Now I'm going to do all the work with my legs. So I'm not going to lift the buckets at all. I'm actually going to drive through the ground and the buckets come up because of the action of that hip hinge, driving through my legs. This was what it would look like if I was picking the buckets up with my arms. See the difference? I'm going to hinge over, stay nice and tall, externally rotate the shoulders, and I'm here. When I go to put them down, I can walk with them, etc., etc. I go to put them down, it's the same thing. Keep them close, torso folded in half. Beautiful thing about a hip hinge, can also be done in a split stance, right? So I'm here. Right? So what I want you to think about today is how and when and where you could practice your hip hinge. Which is so many different things, right? There's a little stick. Okay? We get lazy sometimes. I say we, I mean you. Just kidding. I'm gonna just kind of do this, right? See the difference if I were to slow this video down? See the spine? Not organized, right? I'm feeling that right in my mid-back, my thoracic spine. Right? As opposed to hinging down and getting it. I'm getting lots of good work in my posterior chain. So I'm going to be doing lots of these little videos. Some of them are going to be short, kind of fun movement tips. Some of them are going to be full follow along motion style sessions. So this first one is on hip hinging. I'm going to go more in depth into subjects. I could go on and on about breathing with this. With this, I would say there's different techniques for that based on how heavy it is. But I'm going to take a diaphragmatic, I'm going to breathe diaphragmatically and focus on that first and foremost, right? There will be moments of little holds here and there, but I don't have to create, if I'm breathing diaphragmatically, I don't have to create a ton of bracing. We'll get into bracing and all that later. All right, hope everyone's having a great day. Thanks for the support, patrons, and we'll all see you soon. Motion 365. Peace.